my cell phone now and then see if that'll work with the mic.
Oh yeah, because you're still on the phone. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
All
right. Yeah, so we live on Facebook.
There you go.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and share the broadcast. All right, so we live on Facebook now. I'm finna switch the mics, so you won't be able to hear me until the radio show start, and that's about 30 more seconds. So
sounds good, brother.
.1069 Winterville, Ayden, Grifton, Southside, Greenville, North Carolina. I try to be a better man, but folks just don't understand. Trying to do all I can to deal with this addiction in me. Lord, I want to change. I can't stay the same. But the sins that in my veins, it's trying its best just to kill me. Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the UTurn Show here on Awesome Radio 106.9 FM. On your radio dial. Make sure you go to our website, www.wbisawesomeradio.org, and download all of our apps either on Google Play, the Apple Store, or Alexa. Also, you can call in to this live show, 252-756-2008. The number is on the screen. Just want to thank God for another week that he has brought us here, man. I got a very special guest today. And without further ado, I want to introduce my brother, Jerry Baker. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Rich? I'm doing fine, my brother.
All right. Fine, my brother. Want to take you, thank you, man, for taking the time out your schedule, man, to join the broadcast, man. There's definitely a pleasure to have you up here. I've always wanted to have you, and I was able to reach out to you a couple of weeks ago. But one thing I want to start off with, man, because the nickname Styles, everybody know you as Styles. Now, where did that nickname come from, man?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. The nickname came from one of my peoples in VA named Big Mike. You know what I mean? He just got, when we came, we were around here. We came from Virginia, Newport News. When we came around here, he would call me that. And then a lot of the other people, they would used to call me J Styles. So, you know, eventually they would hear him say it, and they kept calling me that. And then henceforth, Styles. I took the J off, went with the Styles. At that time, I remind you, I was in the street. So at that time, you really weren't giving government names like that. So, you know, it all worked out. So that's where I got it from. My people's Big Mike in Virginia. Big up in Newport News, man.
Newport News. We're going to start off with that, man. Well, I always remember hearing that name, Styles. And I never knew you, you know, even during my time when I was down here, you know, running around in the streets. And I think it took a while for me to, you know, to really meet you. But it was just one thing that I was like, who is this Styles cat that everybody always talking about? But it's definitely a pleasure to meet you on this side of the track.
Same here, brother. Same here.
And you said you was from Newport News. Now I spent about the last 20 years up in the 757 area. So
no doubt, 757.
How was your time growing up in Newport News, man? I always start off with, you know, the childhood, family atmosphere. You know, how was your childhood coming up?
Well, childhood
Newport News is kind of rough.
Yeah, it was. You know, in my childhood, I came up with both of my parents until I was about maybe 7, 8 years old. At that time, when my parents split up, I moved with my dad. I stayed in Newport News. My dad was working at the shipyard in Newport News shipyard downtown. I stayed the first. I think we moved to Sherwood Arms Apartments. From there, and then like I said, man, my childhood was pretty good until pretty much until I got into high school, man. When I got into about my eighth grade to freshman year, that's when everything kind of started going to the left, man. But pretty much I had a pretty good childhood. And big shout out to both of my parents, man, because they didn't raise me that way, and I took my own path in life. You know what I mean?
So,
But Newport News was good, man. I went to Denby High. I went to
okay.
Lynchville High. I went to Carver Middle School. It was good, man. I'm from a place called Cypress Terrace. That was the projects I stayed in for years. I moved all around Denby, man. I was in the uptown area of Newport News, man. I was all
Okay.
around, man.
So
I
you
was
was
all
in number
around.
streets. You was in streets where the
No,
numbers are.
well, that was downtown. I was
Okay,
uptown.
uptown.
Yeah,
So
uptown.
did you
Yeah, I was uptown.
graduate from Newport News, or had you moved back down to North Carolina by the time you got out of high school?
Well, I 92 in Newport News. Peninsula Marine Institute was the name of the school. That's why I came there. It was downtown. I want to say on 32nd Street, downtown, Overtown in Newport News. I came down here in 95. My nephew was born. My sister had a nephew. Had a son, and I came down here in 95. And pretty much from 95 on to now, this is where I've been in Goldsboro.
So what made you move down here? Like, did y'all have family here, or like what was the catalyst for moving?
The guy that my mother got remarried, and the guy that my mother remarried was stationed at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. So, mind you, during these times when I was in high school, I would still come back and forth through the summers. I would come down here for Taco Bell because my mom was actually the manager at Taco Bell on Ash Street back in the day. So what my dad would do was send me down here during the summers, go to work, try to keep me out of trouble. He didn't want me to stay over there in the summertime, so he would send me there. But he didn't even know it for real. He wasn't doing it but helping me out because I was getting my money up, going back. Yeah, it kind of defeated the purpose, man. But so I've been familiar back and forth the whole time. And like I said, from 95 on down, I've been up here.
Okay. So let's go back, because you said about 13, 14, you started to go sideways. And that's the same, the same age I went to go. I started, going the wrong route. What type of influences that made you, because I know staying with a father, I know like my father was kind of strict, so I don't know how, how your father was lax or whatever, or just happy to have you there. So, but what kind of influences that made you started, going the left way?
Man, just hanging out in the street, man. Just like my dad was he was kind of lax. You know what I mean? He was strict somewhat, but he was still kind of lax. He kind of gave me a lot of leeway. You know what I mean? For me to be able to move like that. And just hanging out, man. Hanging with this brother, just being in the hood, man. And man, we was in all type of stuff, man. I was stealing cars, man. We was selling drugs, and man, we was doing a whole lot, man. I was wide open, and at that point in my life, I would really say, man, I didn't even think I was gonna live to be 21, brother. You know what I mean? I had it in my head already that I'm not even gonna be here to be 21 years old. People around me were dying, and just being around the influence. We were going in stores, doing stupid stuff, man.
Yeah.
Going in stores, man, what we would call a bum rush, man. We would go in there 10 deep, go out, run in the store, steal beer, run out the store. Stupid stuff, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking on it now, it was fun then, but I'm looking on it now like that was stupid, man.
Young boy mischievous stuff, right?
Exactly.
So when you came down here, how were you received? Because you're a new guy, and how was it like making friends or associates?
Well, like I said, mind you, I was coming down when I was coming down for the summer, so I did know a few people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I knew people already. And far as like to the street part of it, I really won't in the streets when I first came down here. I was working. I was going through mega forces and all that other stuff because actually, to tell the truth about it, I left VA running from some other stuff. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah, just running, and that's how I kind of end up here. You know what I mean? Running for some other stuff. Older few people running, back and
Okay.
forth.
Okay.
And like I say, I would pretty much receive because I wasn't in the street yet at that time. I wasn't in the street. I was just working, meeting people along the way. So by the time I did get in the street, it kind of helped me out dealing with different people, man. I was running around with people that were known in the street, and that
Uh-huh.
kind of introduced me to everybody that I know now.
Oh, okay. So what like you said, you started off working and doing the quote unquote right thing. So what influenced you to get to jump out in that arena during that
Well,
time?
go ahead, brother. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I always had that. I always remind you, I always had the little hustle mentality. Even when I was working, I still did a little hustle, whether it was weed or whatever. I always try to make that dollar flip. You know what I mean? So at that time, it was on a small level, and like I said, I was just meeting people through those experiences. And by time, let me see, about nine, about 96, 97, I had got back with some people that I knew in VA. And they always, one thing about VA, one thing about Carolina, everybody want to come to North Carolina, bro. I don't care where you're from, New York, VA, wherever. You always got some connection with North Carolina,
Yeah. Yeah.
man. And they were dying. They always, even back when I was in Virginia, they always wanted me, the guys that I was dealing with, I was dealing with some guys out of Miami and this and that. They always wanted me to like, come on, man, let's go to Carolina and let's go do this and that. So by the time I started working, and it seemed like I won't get in the head fast enough, and
Mm-hmm.
I made that phone call.
Yeah.
Y'all guys still trying to come down here, and it went from
Okay.
there. And
Okay.
like I said, I ran into well, rest in peace to my brother Maurice High. Rest in peace, my brother. He
Okay.
he showed me
Okay. Rest
he
in
showed
peace.
me a lot of people. He showed me a lot of people around Goldsboro, and and
Okay.
and that's how I met a lot of people through rest in peace, Reese Five. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Five Man, to the house.
Yes, sir.
You got a great family all
Yes,
around,
sir.
man, everybody. So you end up being pretty heavy, I guess. Like I said, I don't know, but like I said, you can just tell, like when you keep hearing the name, you know that person is kind of moving. So what were there any, like, because I never heard anything bad about you, no bad things. So were there any dangerous experiences, or dealing with people that kind of put you in dangerous situations, or kind of let you know that this not maybe not be the way to go?
Well, of course, danger always comes with that line of work. So,
Uh-huh.
what I mean, I've been in some real sticky situations that mean, even to this day, I ain't gonna lie, I don't really care to reveal some of those
Yeah.
because some of
Yeah.
those still may be lingering around. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
but mind you though, anytime you're dealing in some negative activity, it's always gonna be some more negative activity coming behind it. And like you said, I've been in some sticky situations, man. Almost lost my life a few times. Almost took some other people's life a few times, and I'm just thankful to God that it never happened. So, like I said, it was just all a learning experience, man. I kind of pretty much just looking upon, a lot of times I reflect on my life and I just look at how I came through, and that's what made me the man I am today. Even when I was doing dirt, I was still a good guy. I always looked out for people. I mean, it was in my heart to always kind of look out for people. Even though I was tearing it down, I guess I was trying to justify it in some way, just looking out for people.
Yeah. Sort of almost like the Nino Brown giving out turkeys on Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
You
And
know.
I probably, and even thinking that, I should have did a little bit more than what I did. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
when I was tearing it down, like I should have did more than that. But I mean, as far as helping people out, man, I so many people I don't helped out around here, man. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And not saying they haven't helped me out neither, but I did a lot of favors for a lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's good.
Yes,
So
sir.
you never did any large amounts of time or anything like that, like.
Well, I mean, I didn't do well. I mean, I did 3 years. I mean, I had a trafficking cocaine charge back in
Okay.
want to say 98, and I came home in 2001. And it was a first level. It was a first level trafficking, and shoot, I think any time is a long time, brother. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but,
So I
yeah.
did. I was incarcerated for about 3 years, but like I
That's a long
said, I
time.
learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in that amount of time, and I met a lot of people. And it's sad to say, man, a lot of people from Gold. I mean, a lot of people that I do know is from there, man. I know a lot of people from being on the other side. Cause I mean, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of black men from Goldsboro do end up on the other side, man.
So why do you think that is though? Just I mean, Goldsboro, Newport News, wherever. Why do you think that we have the propensity, to go that route in such a large amount of numbers?
Well, I think to me it's people emulating what they see around them and glorifying it. Because if you see people getting money all day, naturally you're gonna want to do the same thing. But and I think that comes from a lot of what you see, a product of your environment. You know what I mean? Some people are a product of their environment, man. And like I said, that's all I pretty much seen. Like, man, I see these guys getting their money. I want to do this too. I want to do this too. Basically, I was a follower instead of a leader.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I realized later
And
on.
I think
In
that comes a
my life
lot
too.
with a lot of brothers. You know, man. Yeah,
Yeah, and then because
yes, sir. And I realized that, man. I think that.
so 2001 you come home.
I'm sorry, brother.
No. So 2001 you come home, and did because like with a lot of brothers, as we say, like the time don't change it. You come home and you jump right back in, to the same thing
Mhm.
that got you in that position. Was that the story for you, or did that
Well,
time kind of change you and kind of put you where you at today?
I ain't gonna lie. 2001, when I came home, I was kind of shook up. Naturally, maybe a few months, about a year goes by, I kind of gradually fall back in. But mind you, I went for cocaine, and then for trafficking cocaine when I did do that 3 years.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I figured out. I said, well, hell, maybe I go another route for less time. So then I started dealing with the green.
Marijuana.
It don't do nothing but make you feel like okay, yeah. So I was like, well, I started dealing with that, and really and truly, man, I really didn't kind of try to pretty much kind of change my life until my daughter was born. Man, I knew I was my wife now, but she wasn't my wife at the time. Shout out to Nicola Baker too, my baby. I got a shout out.
What's going on,
Um,
Dakota? How you
but,
doing? How you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
Thank you for lending
At that,
them to us tonight.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And like I said, at that time, she wasn't my wife. She was my girlfriend, and she was pregnant with my daughter. And at that time, I said, man, I got to do something. I can't be out here. That I think that was a turning point for my life, me having my daughter, because it kind of changed a lot of things in my life. Uh, to be truthful about it, she 07. I graduated barber school. When
Okay.
my baby was when my wife now, she wasn't my wife at the time, but when she was pregnant with her, I kept saying I got to get out these streets, man. I can't be out here. I can't be out here and she not have a father around here to steer her the way in the right direction. So at that time, I took the money that I was making and invested it in myself as far as going through barber school. And see, barber school at that time, you was spending about $4,000 to $5,000, just
Oh yeah.
and then roll. Yeah, it's a little cheaper now, but back then you want to spend about 4 or 5 racks to get
Okay.
in there. You know what I mean? And that, like I said, that was the goal to change my life because I knew that I had my daughter coming, aboard, and I wanted to change my life. So that's what I did, man. And I always let her know that she was a turning point in my life, man. I'm glad that God brought her in my life because she really turned my life around, man.
Now, is that your daughter or your wife?
Really, both of them. Both.
Yeah.
I can't take nothing from my wife neither. She was with me, and that's why she's my wife now. She was with me at my lowest and my highest point. So
Okay.
it's always good when you're at your high point, but the truth and testimony is when you at a person's lowest point and you still in there with them.
Mhm.
So I knew then she with me all the way.
So
You know
what
what I
what
mean?
would you consider that lowest point, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, lowest point is to at that point in my life is going back to whence I came, far as the prison system.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and that was a low point in my life because I had got another case and I didn't know what was going to happen. It was in the air, you know what I mean? But
Okay.
this time it was marijuana. But
Okay.
luckily, it all worked out, man, and
Yeah,
I didn't have it.
marijuana is a little bit less penalized than
Yes, sir.
the other drugs. And I think a lot of times that's what people try to do. But once again, I always say there's no right way to do a wrong thing.
No right, no
You can
right.
think, wait, okay, well, yeah, I'm just gonna a little bit of weed ain't never hurt nobody. Which a lot of states it is legal now, so but there's still a way to go about that being a legal distributor. So, but so then after that, so about 2007, how hard was it, for you to make that transition though? Because I know, like, barber money is, good money, but it doesn't equal to that, that fast money. If you're used to making, 4 or 5,000 a week or a day or however fast it's coming. So how was that transition to kind of say, okay,
It
I
was
got to
hard, brother.
look at the long picture.
It was hard because just barbering is just like anything else. You get in what you put in. You know what I mean? And at that time, I was still kind of straddling the fence, and I really wasn't putting in the man hours that I was supposed to be doing because I knew I had something to fall back on. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
but once it came to a vital point that I didn't have nothing to fall back on, I knew that I had to put in everything I want in return. So I went full throttle, and I ain't gonna lie, it was hard. It was times where I couldn't even. I had to. I
All
called
right,
a couple of my
just hold
homies
that
and
thought. We got to take a small commercial break. We'll be right back on
okay.
106.9 FM.
Partial funding for this program is brought to you by Meemaw's Liquidation. Meemaw's Liquidation is where you can find furniture, home decor, appliances, tools, toys, and much more for less than the actual retail costs. Meemaw's Liquidation, 400 North Green Street, Greenville, 252-364-8121. That's 252-364-8121. Meemaw's Liquidation, open Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. and Saturday, 10 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Find what you are looking for at Meemaw's Liquidation. Brand new items at liquidated prices. 252-364-8121. Thank you, Meemaw's Liquidation, for your support. This ain't your plan for me to die up in these streets. Oh Lord, can you help me?
And we are back here on the UTurn Show at 106.9 FM Awesome Radio. I'm your host, Richard Taylor, here with the special guest, my brother Styles, Jerry Baker Styles, the barber. Just a couple of quick comments. My brother Patrick Williams said hello. Travis Artist says hello. Hosea Smith says hello. Pat Williams says we met when he came down. He's a solid brother. Trav said he been 100% from day one. Teddy Ruxpin, yo Styles, I'm here, bro. Shanta Thompson said it happens. I guess she's talking about life. Daughters do make you change. Felicia Mitchell says, but God. And my father, Roger Taylor, says, brother, continue to walk in your God-given purpose. And I want to thank everybody who's tuning in to this show, this interview, and everybody who continues to watch every week. Now, you were talking about the transition, from making that fast street money to building your clientele as a barber. So at what point did you say, okay, I'm going to go full throttle and, really work on my class? Because, I mean, with all the respect, now I see your work, so you definitely good, at what you do.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man.
And I see your work. I know you got some
I'm
loyal
humble
customers.
to that too, man, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. I see you, man. And there's something about barbers, though. You see a lot of barbers, and I got my own barber. So how is it like when you first started cutting? Did you lose customers, or did you how do you? I just want to ask you.
I'm gonna tell you, man.
How do you take losing the customer if you do lose a customer, or just?
Well, now, I mean, when I first got in the game, you felt some type of way, man, because I didn't know the game. Now, I mean, for every customer you lose, you probably pick up 2. You know what I'm saying? But back, I ain't gonna lie, before I knew the game, used to be one thing about a barber, you can't be in your feelings, man, because it's the people's choice of who they want they cut their hair. You know what I mean? You got to learn that, You know, and I ain't gonna lie, when I first started out, I didn't have that in me. I had to, but Dad, that's my cousin. You don't own nobody, brother. It's their money. They can spend it where they want to spend it at. You just a good barber will just be there if they need you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's a good barber.
So you ain't
get
gonna
your
say
feelings.
like you're gonna say they don't went to somebody else and then that person can't get them and then they call you. You can't be like, nah. You know, you gotta be like,
I'm gonna be there for them. If you call me, brother, that's what a good barber's supposed to do. Don't worry about where they went or where they going. If they call you, be there for them, man. If you can, be there for them. You know, I don't worry about this stuff, man.
So how long into the game when you realize, okay, I'm really good at this? You know,
Well, to tell the truth though, Rich, man, I always been cutting hair, man. I've been cutting hair since I messed mine up. And let me tell you that experience, man. My dad used to cut my hair, man.
Okay.
Like I said, and I want to say I think I was in about the 7th grade, and one day I came home and my dad. I said, Dad, I need a haircut, man. He was on the couch. I think he was a little intoxicated at the time. He's like, Nah, we ain't gonna do it today. We're gonna have to wait. So I decided to go and cut my own hair. So I go in there and I grab the clippers. I start cutting. Didn't have a guard on there, man. I look like a Dalmatian. You know what I'm saying? I'm plugging it, man. I'm plugging it everywhere.
Yeah.
So I called my Uncle Jeff, man, and shout out to my Uncle Jeff Davis, Newport News, man. Shout out to my Uncle Jeff. He came by and he saved the day that day. So he cut hair, and what he did, he just leveled me all off. And from that day forward, I learned how to cut my own hair. You know, and I've been cutting hair since then, man. We used to cut out in the hood, and you know, like I told you, I was in Virginia. I was cutting in Cypress Terrace, and you know, matter of fact, when I was in prison, I was cutting hair. Matter of fact, me and Ferrando Best. I mean, shout out to Ferrando. Yeah.
The Midtown Barber.
Yes, sir, because he was actually in the barbershop before I was. He helped me get the job. And shout out to him too, man.
Okay,
like I said,
which barbershop you talking about?
Well, this is when we were in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I said I've been cutting all the way up to that. Like I said, I've always wanted to cut hair. Even when I was in Virginia, that was like my passion. Like when I got out of school, my dad took me down to the barber college, but I just never followed up on it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never followed up on it, man. And I went into the streets. You know what I mean? And it's crazy how I come back full circle to what I really wanted to do in the first place, man.
So when you got out of barber school, though, where did you first start out cutting at?
I first started out at upscale barbershop, 505 East Ash Street with Rico Cox. That's my mentor right there.
Okay.
I work with Rico Cox.
Rico.
Shout out to him, man. That's my mentor. I ain't gonna lie, man. He taught me a lot in the barber game, man. He taught me, you know, as far as like this stuff, man, on what to do, as far as how to handle business, you know, the cussing in the shop around kids, keep the music. He taught me a lot of etiquette, barber etiquette. You know what I mean? And I gotta give him a shout out, man. It's a good mentor of mine. Man. He taught me a lot about the game, man. He did. I worked with Rico. I worked with Rico about 10 years, man.
Oh yeah?
Oh, man. Yes, sir.
Because I think the first time I ever saw you, and actually you cut my hair, I think we was at our Premier Barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
Was you working at Premier at one time?
I was. I worked there for about 4 years. As a matter of fact, when I say I worked with Rico 10 years, that's including that time because he was down there.
He was there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to
shout
Mauricio Howe too.
Yeah, Mauricio, good brother too, man. And I look at somebody like you don't mention about 4 or 5 brothers who, you know, who's in the game, but also changed their life around, you know, to become businessmen and entrepreneurs and, you know, use their talents and minds for, you know, positive things instead of negative things. So at what point did you decide to say, okay, man, I'm gonna go ahead and step out on my own and, you know, open up a shop with me and the missus?
Well, to be truthful about it, my wife been in the game. I want to say about 30 plus years. And that was kind of like a vision of ours to be able to have a shop together. You know, we've spoken into existence, man. You know what I'm saying? And my wife, actually, when I was working down there at Premier Cuts, my wife had the shop. She had the shop then. And
okay.
Like I said, it was just God, something said, you know how God give you that voice. It's that time, man. It's that time, man. Go walk out on faith, man. You know, trust in me. And that's what I did, man. And I said, if I'm gonna go anywhere, we gonna go with the original game plan, and that's me working with my wife, man. Let's keep it a family thing.
Definitely, man. So did y'all move? Did you? So,
And that
go ahead.
no, I yield. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just like, so did you move into the same building that she was at, or did y'all open up a new spot?
Well, I moved into the building that she was at, and she made room for me, and then we created a new spot. And that's why it was already called Blessed Beauty, and then we added the Barber. You know what I mean? Blessed Beauty and Barber. Because she had that name already, Blessed Beauty and Barber.
So how long have y'all been in business now together? I mean, of course y'all been in business together.
Let me see. It's been about, I'm going on my 6th year. Matter of fact, April, we just had an anniversary, man. For that.
Congratulations.
Together. Yep.
April.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That's
Excuse me,
good.
correction. 5th year. 5th year. I'm sorry. 5th year together.
Now that's Blessed Beauty and Barber. Where's that located at?
It's at 204 North Herman Street in Goldsboro, North Carolina, 27530. Right across the street from the old Rite Aid on Herman Street, north side.
The old, was it an Eckerd too? Or something, I don't know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was an Eckerd too.
Yeah. So that's been going good. So yeah, now working with your wife, how is that though? 'Cause I know y'all around each other all the time. So that
was something that I want, and that's a good question you said that, because how many brothers do you know can actually work with their wife and not be worried? See, I had been in other shops, and I just knew that my life, that I didn't have to worry about nothing, because I know I ain't doing nothing that I ain't supposed to be doing out of order. So it won't nothing for me to work with my wife, man. And really and truly, I tell you the truth though, Rich, man, a lot of times we don't see each other to the end of the day. She's in the back, I'm in the front. You know, and we don't really even see each other a lot, even though we in the same building.
Okay. That's good.
But I feel comfortable though. I don't have nothing to hide. So like I said, I feel comfortable. And I'm glad that I was at that point in life where I could do that, you know. For real.
Yeah, I guess that's a dream, that when both people in the marriage are doing what they love and they can actually do it together. You know, that's something special. But we're going to take our last station break in about 15 seconds. So we're going to come back with the last 20-minute segment on the radio. And of course, you know, if the conversation is still going on, we're going to stay live. But I thank y'all for joining us. You are listening to Awesome Radio 106.9 FM.
Partial funding for this program is brought to you by The Breakfast Bar, Comfort Food, 605 Albemarle Avenue, Greenville, 252-565-8310. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Closed on Monday. Dine in or take out. No delivery. 252-565-8310. Chicken and waffles, shrimp and grits. The Breakfast Bar is a Southern breakfast and brunch restaurant located at 605 Albemarle Avenue, Greenville, 252-565-8310. Comfort Food. The Breakfast Bar is not just a restaurant. It's a place where family and friends can have a wonderful time while enjoying a multitude of delicious Southern-inspired breakfast and brunch dishes. It's breakfast and brunch for the soul. Comfort Food. Thank you, The Breakfast Bar, for your support.
And yes, we are back with the UTurn Show here on Awesome Radio 106.9 FM. And just a couple of quick comments with my special guest, Styles the Barber. My brother Kenneth Edwards says, peace to the brother Styles, big respect to a true brother of the people. And also said you have the best razor game in the field. Our sister Felicia Mitchell says Styles is so humble and a great barber. Once again, Kenneth Edwards says, my favorite barber. Marcus Reed, my brother, always shining and spreading that light. Felicia Mitchell, congratulations to you both. And that's a blessing to work together and flourish together as one. And I want to say once again, thank you for all that are listening. And I definitely shout out to my brother Kenneth Edwards, man. If anybody knows, the word of prayer, please pray for my brother. He's going through something, but we know God is a healer. So everybody who watches this broadcast and knows the word of prayer, please pray for my brother and his family. And so back to the barbershop, and the working with the wife. How was that with managing? Like I said, y'all have a daughter and a son, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. We got two sons, correct. I got an older son. Yeah, my oldest son is 28.
Okay. So when he's grown now, but I know that your younger son is about 7. So do you have him in the shop with you teaching him things, and or is he interested in barbering?
Well, to tell the truth, he likes to stay around me, man. I'm gonna tell you what I like to do. I like my kids, especially when I do anything dealing with the community. I always make sure that they're there. And then that goes back to what we were talking about earlier when you asked me, why do you think that happens to a lot of black brothers? Because they see what they emulate. Whatever they see is what they emulate. So I always try to keep them around positive vibes and anything we do in the community. And being a barber, man, you wear a lot of hats, man. You're a pastor, you're a masseuse, you're a psychiatrist. You take in a lot of stuff being a barber. You got to wear a lot of hats being a barber, man. And I think that word styles kind of fits with that too, because you got to be able to talk on every topic, man. But let me go back to what you said with my son. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off. Man.
Yeah, you got the floor, man. You got the floor.
Okay. Hey, I like to keep him in a positive environment, and he loves to hang around. And I ain't gonna lie, since COVID, they kind of ain't really been hanging around because I've been doing appointments only. But every time he gets a chance, man, he comes in there and he likes to sit up under me and see what's going on, man, and just like to suck it all in, man. And like I said, I try to teach him anything, man, and let him know that he can be anything he want to be in life, man. So I like him to see what I'm doing, so he'll know that I'm out here doing things, man. And that's just for him and my daughter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So as a member of the community, like what take? Because I know you in the organization, the brotherhood as they call it, or the Masons. So I know y'all do a lot of positive things. So what what is your goal as far as helping the community out? Whether it's with the Masons or with the with your own business, or you individually. What are some of the things you have in mind or you have done?
Well, the things that the things that we like to do, and that's why like you say, I am with the Brotherhood. I'm actually a member of C.S. Brown Lodge number 782, 12th Masonic District. Shout out to my lodge and my lodge brothers and the brothers in the
good
district.
Brothers in that lodge too. I know a few of the brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But like I said, our goal is the same, and it's my goal and the Masonic goal is pretty much the same, man. To uplift our community and let them know that there's better things out here than you can do. You don't have to be in the street. We want to show you that love. We want to show you how to show a tie. Tie. We want to show you that these things can be obtained. You know what I mean? You can go out there, show you how to fill out an application. You know what I mean? To just try to get you a job, show you how to dress right and what to say. We just try to uplift the community, man, and try to teach them, let them know where they come from, man. Let them know they come from kings and queens, man. You don't just come from them, those pictures we see where they're picking cotton and all. What about the Mansa Musas and Emoteps and all those type guys like that we don't never get to see? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to let them know that y'all come from kings and queens, man. So, you know what I mean?
Why do you think
be the king and queen you are?
Yeah. So why do you think that knowledge, like you said, because I didn't hear Mansa Musa probably until my early 30s, and
exactly.
And even with the research I was doing before then. So why do you think that information is not really taught, in school and kind of hidden from us?
Well, Yeah, let me get this worded right. You know.
Yeah, you don't want to go down the wrong road.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Let me say. Well, I just say if you take a person. If you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. Bro. You
mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And then that kind of opens your mind to a short span of what you can do and what you can't do. You're in a tunnel vision instead of being in a wide panorama. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If I'm saying it, if you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying, yeah. And I think that's what the goal is to keep you tunnel vision versus panorama. You know what I mean? Because if you're tunnel vision, you can't see nothing on either side. You can't see nothing but what's straight. And what's straight all the time may not be what's for you. So, just let them know there's other things out here, man. And I don't know. I just really stress that people know where they come from, man. Know where you know your history, man. Know where you come from. Know you come from kings and queens, and everybody wasn't picking cotton and what you see in the books and all that. Because if that's all you see, and that's all you're gonna emulate, whether it's mentally or
Mm-hmm.
physically. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You just want to take the mental chains off, man. Because a lot of time people think being locked down is physical. True indeed. But if your mental is locked down, then
Mm.
you ain't going nowhere, brother. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It's a lot of people walking around physically free but mentally bound. Is that
In
what you see?
bondage. Exactly. You know what I mean? You're
Definitely.
right, brother. You're right, man.
And so and we mentioned this too, like when we talked on the phone, because like I told you, I brought you back. I wish I could remember the exact wording of the post, but you mentioned that you had done a lot of things in life, and you was born with a defect. I think one of your hands are smaller than the other, and you
Yes,
mentioned that
sir.
how you held guns and you had done this and done that with that hand, but now that you're cutting, you realize that's what you were supposed to do. So I just want to talk about, coming up, or even as a young man, did how was it, accepting the fact, that you were born a little bit different than others? Did you ever allow that to kind of hinder you in any way or motivate you?
I ain't gonna lie. When I was coming up, man, I used to ask God all the time, why, man? Why, God? Why I got to be this and that? And I at one point in my life when I was coming up, I used to be like, man, why? But I never really let it hinder me, man. And I think that comes from the way that my parents treated me and the people around me. Even though I knew that was the case, they didn't treat me like a case. And it's like to me, like I was saying earlier, sometimes you take a manure of a situation and turn
Mm-hmm.
it into fertilizer. So that's what I
Okay.
did. I use it instead of me using it as a deterrent. I use it as of a motivation. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And that's why today people can't tell me they can't do this and they can't do that. I know
Yeah.
if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? You
Uh-huh.
can do it. And like you said, I held everything in these hands right here: guns, crack, weed, everything, man. Everything. And I wasn't blessed until I came right back around and did what God made these hands for, is to cut hair. You know what I mean? Cut hair,
Definitely.
brother. And
And you
that's another thing. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
brother. Go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead.
Well, another thing is, man, and especially me being a barber, when I first started, people didn't, if somebody didn't know me, they would look at me and say, no, I ain't gonna let that guy cut my hair. And you know what I mean? And that's just straight up, it
Yeah.
is what it, and I can't knock them. I can't
Yeah.
knock them. You know what I mean? So
Uh
that didn't do nothing but make me want to prove myself. You know
yes.
what I mean? So I
Yeah.
had to prove myself and prove myself worthy. Just like, what's that scripture? Timothy 2:15. Show
Study to
thyself,
show thyself
study to show
approved
thyself
to God. A workman that needed
Man,
not to be
need
ashamed.
not, it
Definitely.
can rightly divide the word of truth. You know
Rightly
what I mean?
divide the word of truth.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
That's
sir,
good, man.
man.
That's so how instrumental has your relationship with God been in, your transformation and the blessings and that have, come of everything that you've been through.
Well, I tell you what, man, God is good all the time, brother. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I thank him every day, every morning, man. And I ain't gonna lie, I have gotten closer to God now than I have ever been. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, I owe God everything. I know where it comes from. I know it ain't me. It's God. God is allowing me to do these things. God is giving me that talent to be able to work on my craft and be able to be proficient in my craft. You know what I mean? So, I thank God for everything, man. I'm a God-fearing man, brother. You cool believe that. You know what I mean? And I'm a God-fearing man, and I'm humble to the fact. I'm humble to the fact, man. I'm always humble, man. Always humble, man.
And
Hey.
that's for something I notice every time I see you, which I don't see you often, but every time I see you, I do receive that spirit of humility, that the spirit of selflessness, the spirit of, okay, well, how you doing, or what can I help you with, instead of just being because you are successful, and a lot of people wear their success on their sleeve, but that's not something that I get from you. So I definitely want to commend you on that.
Yeah, I appreciate
and I
that,
think
brother.
a couple of years ago, did you lose your father, if I'm not mistaken?
I did. I did lose my father. I did. Actually, it's
Okay.
been about 5 years. It's been about 5 years,
Okay.
and I lost my father. Yeah.
Well, you
Yes,
definitely have
sir.
my condolences, and it seems y'all were pretty close. How did that affect you? As far as mentally.
It still affects me now because there's times that I really want to call and talk to him. And a matter of fact, I was just talking to my daughter the other day, just telling her how blessed she is to still have her grandparents and her parents around. Because I said it's going to be a day that you're not going to realize how much you miss talking to these people, or you can't pick up the phone and contact these people, and do this, that, and the third. And one thing I can say about my dad, when I was doing my stuff, we were always kind of tight, but it seemed like I was glad that he was able to see my transition in life, from being in the streets to getting married to having my own business. I was glad that he was able to see that part of my life. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I really think, and to be truthful about it, my dad would belong to the Masonic order as well. He kind of
Okay.
inspired me for that. I always wanted to know what it was, and my dad, I was following my dad's footsteps. But again, I would like to say that I was glad that he was able to see my transition in life, man. You know what I mean? That meant so much to me, brother. That meant a lot to me. Him and my mother. My mother's still around too. Shout out to my baby. Love you, mom.
Okay. God bless. God bless
Yes, sir.
Mama Styles. God bless Mama
Yes,
Styles.
sir. Yes, sir.
But he was still in
Virginia, Newport
Virginia,
News.
right? So, and I think you also mentioned about your Native American background. Is that
My mother. My mother.
okay?
She
Okay.
is Indian. She's from her family is from the reservation in Arizona. The Pima, I want to say Pima Apache. But yeah, that Native American part that comes on my mother's side, man. Her mother was full blown Indian, and my granddad was black. So my mother's half black and half Indian. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And we trickled down that tree too. And I got to shout out Mom for that too. Thanks for good help, Mom.
Yeah, and we got a few more minutes on the radio, but this is one question I want to ask you though, right? Because one of
Yes,
my
sir.
homeboys, I think he's one of your clients, and my boy Pookie, Cleveland Ward.
Oh yeah, that's my brother. I just seen him the other day.
Yeah, he told me
Yes,
one day,
sir.
man. We was talking. I was about to get a haircut, or so he said, "Man, once you go to Styles and get you one of those $100 haircuts." And I said, "Wait a minute, what are you talking
I
about,
know
man?"
that's right.
So I don't know. Like, what does a $100 haircut entail?
I don't know, man. I think he was kind of exaggerating about
Oh,
that. I wish I would get $100 a cut, man.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. Well, yeah.
nah. I think he was kind of exaggerating. I think he was talking about more or less the quality of the work versus the monetary part of it. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
Yeah, but he was saying it in a joking way, and I remember you saying that. But
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
before we leave, man, I don't want to cut you off, man. I just want to shout you out, brother, because
Uh,
like I said, I've been following you for a long time, man, and I brought this out the cut. You know what I mean? To let you
okay.
know that I still got it, my brother. And you're
That's the
right. I
first
was
joint.
working. I was working at Mauricio's shop.
That's when you
and I
got it.
remember when you came, and I remember you
About
came
10
in there.
years ago. That's
And
the
I bought
first
one.
edition, because I know,
And
I
now
know
how
it's the
many?
first edition because I used Dick Taylor. I said, I'm going to use my name as Dick Taylor, but that was the only copies I printed with that name on it. So I thank you for your support too, my brother.
Yes, sir. And I got it right here, brother.
Thank you,
I
man.
pulled that out the hat for you because let you know I still got it, my brother.
Yeah, and I appreciate your support, man, because I was walking around town with those books in a book bag. I don't even think I had a card in. I was just walking around town, man, trying to make it happen, man. But that's once again the test of God's grace, man. When you put your mind to something and you stay persistent, that He will reward you.
Brother.
So, man, definitely, man. I thank you.
Indeed, brother.
Is there anything you want to say to the radio audience before we log off on the radio show?
Hey, yes, sir. I just want to thank y'all for having me. I want to thank you, brother Taylor, man, for inviting me to your show. I would like to say we are having C.S. Brown is having a fish fry May 14th at 12 p.m. I don't mean to be soliciting.
No, you can do that if I'm not mistaken. I hope the station don't know. If not, she'll let me know. But go ahead.
All right, and shout out to the station for having me too, man.
Yeah, 106.9.
The 106.9. I appreciate 106.9. Awesome radio, and I love the establishment. I love what y'all doing. I love what you doing, Rick. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I see your grind, man. My hat's off to you, my brother. You know what I mean? I seen you come up, man. I love it, man. Anybody doing anything positive, I'm all for it. If anybody got anything positive going on in the community, please let me know if I can assist. And once again, thanks again, man. And shout out to my wife and my family too. Without them, man, they make me who I am, man. And to my customers too.
Yeah. So back to that fish fry though, because if you don't know, a lot of people don't know probably, but I stopped eating regular meat about March 1st. So that's all I've been eating is fish. So I'm definitely be coming through. You said May 14th. You didn't mention no times. You didn't mention no location.
12 o'clock. Yeah, because I kind of quit. It said C.S. Brown, 513 Bill Street. I didn't know because I didn't want to solicit. Yeah, it's the lodge. At the lodge. We'll be having trout or whiting, besides the slaw fries and the hush puppies. There'll be $10 plates. We also will have pre-orders starting May 1st. So anybody would love to come by, man. Y'all let me know. I have my contact information, 919-344-5209, if anybody wants to inquire about that. And thank you again, Brother Taylor and 106 for having me on the show.
Thank y'all so much, man. Just to read a couple of comments before we go off the radio. Felicia Mitchell says, thank you, Styles, for your wisdom. You and Nicola are a powerhouse couple. Kenneth Edwards said, respect to my man, fam. Keep it up. Thank you, Ken. Roger says, thank God for brothers supporting brothers. Mother said, Richard Taylor be on the grind for sure, definitely. And Kenneth Edwards said, that razor game is worth $100. I'm telling you, you might gotta up your prices. Humility, God is faithful. Charmaine Newcott gives you some hand claps. Felicia Mitchell, preach, sir. We are God's workmanship, created for good works. Yep, man. And Camille Taylor, my sister, says, thank you for your commitment to the betterment of the community. Young Fago, glad to see you doing big things, huh? Who's that right there? Is that nephew?
Yeah, that's nephew.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a blessing to work together and flourish as one, man. So what do you see what do you see yourself at, in the future? Just continuing to work, and is there any more business opportunities that you see yourself doing?
Right now, I eventually, man, I would like to carry on the goal of I also want to mention one of my brothers, man. I lost last June. His name was Culture Holmes. That brother there was a true.
Just 1 second, man. We're going to end the radio show, but we're going to keep it going on Facebook. I thank all of our radio listeners. Make sure y'all tune in to 106.9 Awesome Radio next week for another episode of the UTurn Show. Lord, I need All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can now. Yes, sir.
All right, okay. So you was talking about our brother Cottrell Holmes, right?
Yeah, Culture Holmes, man. He was a good brother of mine, man. He passed away last June. And man, he was a real inspiration to everybody, man. He kept me going, man. Uh, and I just want to kind of in his legacy too, man. We had a group. We have a group. It's called Destiny Skills Intellect for Youth. The founding members are me, myself, Culture Holmes, Tez Lofton, Shabazz Sutton, and Patrick Williams. And I also had another brother, Victor Battle, that used to be with us too. He passed as well too, man. I've been around some good. I've just been lucky to be around some good brothers, man, with some humble hearts and the same. They want to do the same thing. We all had the same mission, is to look out for the youth and better our community, man. Like I said, though I just want to continue on in their legacy and continue to do good works for the community, man, and uplift and upbuild the community for our youth and let them know that they can be anything they can be. You know what I mean? And let them know that it's not, and sometimes it may not be easy, but you just don't let it deter you, man, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. Because like I said, if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I definitely want to just mention Cottrell too, because he reached out to me one day, and you know, at that time I was living in Virginia, but he was telling me about, you know, some things he had in mind to, you know, do for the youth. And I think during the time, you know, I never got a chance to really meet him face to face. But you know, that let me know that his heart was definitely in the right place. So if there's anything that I can do to continue that legacy, or you know, whatever y'all got, just feel free to let me know, man. And I'm right there, because I've heard nothing but good things about the brother, even though I wasn't able to really, you know, connect with him face to face. But I've heard nothing but good things about him.
Good brother, and he was one of my Masonic brothers as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, good brother, man. Good brother, man.
So how long have you been a part of the lodge?
Let me see. I petitioned the lodge in 2015, man. So I've been a member of the lodge since 2015. Yes, sir. Okay. And like I said, man, and that's another thing, man. That's why we're doing a lot of things in the community, man, because a lot of people don't know about the organization. They may think one thing or may think another thing, but one thing I can tell you is I love God. I believe in God. I'm humble to God. So if that kills anything, any stigmatism that anybody thinks, I don't want to make any suggestions or nothing. We do a lot out here for the community that we don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? But they know, the community people know. We've done a lot. And we're just trying to get out a little bit more and let the community see what we really stand for. And that's up to uplift our youth and up to uplift our mothers and just to uplift our community, period. You know, we are the cornerstone of the communities, and we should be lifting up our community, man. As Black men, we should be able to lift up our community, man, and teach other Black young men to be successful Black men.
Yeah. So how do you reach? Because that's the question I always have. You know, I see a lot of young brothers. I was leaving the gym the other night, and I stopped to the store, and I just seen a car full of young boys. There's like 5 of them in the car. You know, I usually riding deep, and it's like 1 o'clock at night. It's like, where they going? How can I reach them? You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's a question because I know nobody can reach me at that age. Nobody can tell me nothing.
Yeah.
How do you kind of bridge that gap?
Well, that's the thing, man. We just try to find ways. Sometimes you got to bridge the gap. You might have to stoop to their level. You know what I mean? You know, to a certain level, not all the way, but you may have to. Sometimes you might have to fight 5 or 5. You know what I mean? You know, and like I said, you know, like you said, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 brothers in 1 car, that ain't nothing but trouble.
Yeah,
that ain't nothing but trouble. And sometimes it's harder to reach 5 brothers versus 1 brother. You know, I would rather come, instead of going to approach all 5, I would try to pull 1 and then maybe he can, you know what I mean, come back and kind of, you know, talk to the other brothers about that. Sometimes it's harder to reach them in groups, man. You might have to pull them as individuals. You know what I mean?
I noticed that, man. I noticed that one time when I was talking at a youth center, man. And, you know, I had some guys engaged, and I was talking to them, and you know, I could tell some was engaged, and I tell some of them wanted to be more engaged, but they kept looking at, you know, this one guy to see if, you know, he was looking at them kind of funny, you know, and that just let me know that peer pressure is real, you know. Peer pressure, even though you know you might like something or you might not want to do something, but if everybody else is doing it, it's kind of hard to go against the grain, as they say. And actually, you mentioned it as well about, you know, just if you see everybody else doing something, it's easy to do it. So I think we gotta make doing the right thing cool, you know, somehow.
Exactly. Especially, and that's another. You're right, because you know you look at back in the days. You right, making the right thing look cool, because if you didn't back in the day, you look like a sucker. Doing the right thing, you look like a sucker. And it's all in the perspective of each individual, man. And you're right. I like what you said, Rick. That made a lot of sense, man.
Yeah, because I always see people like, you know, I was a nerd in school, you know what I'm saying? But being a nerd wasn't cool. You know, being a nerd, like I used to like to write poetry, and I probably could have written some books then, but that wasn't the cool thing to do. But now, you know, I realize, okay, I can be me. You know what I'm saying? And this is who I am. So it doesn't matter who don't like it. You know, if somebody don't like it, somebody will. You know, so I try to encourage kids to just be what they say. I don't care if you like ballet. You know what I'm saying? If you're a dude that like ballet, if that's what you do, go ahead and do it, because, you know, nobody's going to live your life for you but you. You know, and like you said, I'm pretty sure when you were sitting in sitting in those cells, you know, nobody was offering to come and be with you. That you know, so you know, that's definitely, man, is something that, you know, like I said, man, if anything that I can do to help, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
will do, man.
Yeah.
And the same thing with you, my brother. If you anything you got going on, man, or anything you're trying to do, man, hey, reach out to the brothers. Maybe we can see what, you know, I can see if I can get the brothers to come along, and we all for the cause, man. If anything going on with the community, man, reach out, brother. Reach out. Reach out. We all for that, man.
Comments. David Quinn says, "Love my brother." Styles says, "Styles draws people." Definitely. Marcus Reeves, R.I.P. Brother Cottrell Holmes. Claude Waters, Stizzy, my brother. Definitely. I appreciate all of y'all for listening, man. And like I said, is there anything, because I ain't going to hold you up too much longer, man, but I certainly thank you for, you know, just, you know, blessing us with your presence, man. Is there anything else that you want to share with the people before we go?
Yeah, it's one more thing I like to say by you saying David Quinn, and thanks to all the brothers in the comments. I want to thank everybody that left comments as well. You know, but brother David Quinn, man, I gotta say, man, that brother played a real part of my transition, man. I'm taking it back to Rico Cox shop. I used to talk with David Quinn all the time, man. He was like, "Jerry, all you gotta do is cut hair. Just cut hair." He believed in me before I believed in myself, man. You know what I mean? And I still talk to David to this day, man. I just want to shout him out, man. He believed in me before I believed in myself, man. And I'll never forget that in my path or to where I am now, man. He had a lot to play in that part. He's the one that told me, just leave it in God's hands, man. Cut hair. Get off the fence. Cut hair. He told me that, man. I just want to shout him out, man.
I'm not sure I know Mr. Quinn.
That's Mike Quinn's brother, Captain Cuts. That's his brother, David Quinn. Good guy, man. Real good guy, man. Do anything for anybody, man. And he's a barber as well.
How important is it to for brothers to encourage brothers? You know, like a lot of times,
it's real important. It's real important because we need to lift each other, man. We don't need to tear each other down, man. When you see a brother doing good, give him his praise, man. Give him his flowers while he's here, man. Let him know he's doing good, man. Don't hate, congratulate, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't never been no hater, man. I ain't never been no hater, man. I like to see everybody do good, man. Do good, bro. I love that, man. And that's why I big you up, man, because I've been watching you for a while, man. I remember, and I ain't gonna lie, I remember when the first time that I can really remember really actually meeting you was at Mauricio's cousin, at Five's Sweet Tea House. You know, hey, I
Sweet
remember
tea
seeing
house.
you. You came one day, yeah, and you came by there one day, and I
Was we
think
playing
Reese
cards?
and everybody. I don't remember. You just came by for a second. You was in and out. I don't
Okay.
know if you were just coming by to speak or you know what I mean. You was in and out, and I
Yeah.
remember you coming to Sweet Tea House, and that's what I kind of remember. But I remember seeing you around too, though. You know, I remember seeing your face when we was
Yeah,
out there in the streets,
never
man.
knew
You
like,
know
I
what
was
I'm
like, man. I heard that name for years and years and years, man. That's that, like I said, we ran it. I was on a whole nother different path around. I was around here anyway, so I won't really,
saying? Yes, sir.
too involved in anything positive. And but yeah, man, I just remember hearing that name. And I found out, so okay, that's Styles, okay. But
Okay, okay.
yeah,
I'm
man,
glad
like
it was all love, man.
yeah, it's all love, man. It's all love, like I said, man. And yeah, definitely I appreciate the encouragement, man. And like I said, if anything that I can do to help you, man, just let me know. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, just let me know, man. Just keep me in the loop about whatever y'all got going on. I share it and promote it. So yeah, man,
Thank you.
we gonna end this interview, man. But I certainly thank everybody, for watching us. And once again, man, just thank Brother Styles for giving us a time. Thank his wife and everything that they're doing. I just pray God's blessings, continued blessings upon you and your family, and your business, your health, finances, all of those things, bro. Definitely.
Thanks, my brother. And the same to you, my brother. Now, like I said, I appreciate y'all having me here. 106, what's that? Awesome FM,
Awesome
AM.
Radio, 106.9, Awesome
Awesome,
Radio.
106.9 Awesome Radio. Man, I appreciate y'all having me in your platform. I love what y'all are doing. I mean, I love the platform y'all set up for positive things, positive thinking, and positive energy. And again, Brother Taylor, I thank you again. And like I said, anytime, reach out to me. And I appreciate everybody who had commented on this as well. And that's all I got to say, my brother. And again, thank you, man. Thank you, thank you,
Thank y'all,
thank
man.
you.
Peace. Good night, everybody. See y'all next week, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Bless the YouTube, Bro Waters.
Yes.